Hi, my name is Kayla, and this is a bit about my internship with National Instruments. So I'll talk a little bit about how I got the internship and then about my current job and responsibilities. And then I'll reflect a little bit on what I've learned and how UNT prepared me for the internship. So I knew that I wanted a summer internship, and so I started looking for positions in late September. I did search for openings on various job boards like LinkedIn and Indeed, but I ended up finding NI's internship posting on their website in October. As part of my application, I submitted a resume, cover letter, and 2 pieces of technical content, one of which was a procedural document. I completed 2 virtual interviews. The first was a 30-minute interview with a recruiter, and the second was an hour-long technical interview with a technical writing manager. After my interview, I completed a timed editing assignment and then was offered a job. And all of that happened before the holiday in December. So I had a job offer before the start of the new year. So broadly speaking, NI is a pretty large engineering firm. And the team that I'm part of is the Systems Research and Development team, which is housed in Documentation and Language Services. Systems R&D technical writers document products from NI that contain both a hardware and software component, although there are many other technical writing teams that document other products. My first job responsibility was to complete a training program that took about 2 weeks. I did some self-paced training and instructor-led training. And one of the really nice things about interning for NI and for the team that I interned for is that each technical writer on the team led an instructor-led training. And I felt like that was a fantastic way of meeting everyone. After that, my main project that I'll talk about here in a little bit has been to recommend revisions to an existing piece of content and work with developers to verify my revisions and then implement them. So software that I use includes Oxygen, which is a data authoring tool. Publication Manager, which is where we build publications from those data topics and then actually publish them. Perforce is a sort of documentation repository, but it's not customer facing and is internal documents. So I've used Perforce to research a bit about the product that I've documented. So my main project has been to go through the Vehicle Communication Toolkit user manual and suggest revisions. It's a pretty lengthy user manual, and I had quite a few suggestions for them. My main focus at the start of this project was to look at grammar, punctuation, adherence to NI-specific style guide, and then looking at image sizes. So for example, as you can see here, this image is too large for the PDF. And this is a consistent issue throughout the document. So I resized many, many images to make them fit on the page. Something that I sort of took on myself was looking at additional things like passive voice misuse, long sentences that could be broken up into 2 or more sentences, and then using bulleted lists where appropriate. And that's been very appreciated by my mentor, who took a look at the document after I suggested the revisions to make sure that my suggestions were appropriate. I implemented my revisions in Oxygen, and then I sent a new PDF to the rest of the team, including the project manager and the lead developer assigned to the VCOM toolkit. I let them know what I updated and what I did not update, which included technical revisions, but I did let them know that I would be happy to implement any technical revisions that were needed. So at this point, I am receiving feedback and implementing technical revisions that are needed, And then I hope to have a finished product by the end of my internship. So I've learned how to work with developers and really ask them succinct questions that get at what I need to know to understand the product. I'm virtual this summer, so I don't have the ability to see any of the products in person. And so being able to ask them efficient questions has been a learning experience. Editing and writing content for products I didn't previously know about kind of goes along with that, and just being able to have a good relationship with those developers, and then authoring content in various tools. I've also learned how a technical writing team functions, which has been very interesting to me to see what technical writers meet to discuss, how they improve themselves as a team, and things like that. So that's been very interesting. And then different roles a traditional technical writer can have. And at NI, I've learned there are a couple different paths you can take, but the main ones include a career that's writing focused or a career path that's more managerial focused. So that's been very insightful. My biggest challenges correlate pretty largely to what I've learned in terms of working with developers and learning how to document technical content. But also a challenge that I've had is learning how to plan releases based on the length of the document, the extent of the revisions needed, and then planning for other people's timelines, their own work schedules has been a challenge. So what I change is all on my part. NI has been a fantastic company to intern for, but I would be more prepared for meetings with various managers. And what I kind of mean by that, NI was very gracious in setting up several meetings for me with different managers on different teams. And that was fantastic to get to meet everyone. And they framed it up as very casual, just a meet and greet, no need to prepare anything. But I should not have taken that quite so literally, and I should have prepared more questions for them than I did. It was a bit of a missed opportunity on my part, but I would change that if I could. Be more active in team discussions. This is actually something that I've gotten feedback on, and it's just, as someone who's been there only a month or two, it's hard to feel like you have appropriate experience to contribute to team discussions, but they really look for that new or outside perspective. And so I wish from the start that I had been more active there, and then just be more willing to ask for help when I need it. UNT prepared me really well for the internship. One of the courses that helped a lot was digital literacies. Just being able to work in a data authoring tool like Flare before starting work was extremely helpful, because even though NI doesn't use the same data authoring tool, a lot of the principles and a lot of the functionality overlaps. And I feel like I didn't have quite the learning curve that I might have otherwise had I not taken digital literacies. How to write for users, and then implementing plain language principles. So classes like professional technical writing and style and technical writing that introduced me to plain language were extremely helpful, because plain language principles are really what allowed me to go above what my mentor for the project was looking for and suggest additional revisions that were not only going to help with the technical punctuation and grammar, but also help with readability of the document. So that's all I have, but if you have any questions, please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to chat about my experience at NI and my experience as a technical writing intern. Thank you.